Hi everybody, this is Ellen. In this tutorial I'm going to show you how to make the Happy Radish. I think it turned out adorable. I like the shape, I like the leaves. I know on real radishes there's a little bit more of a stem and they're kind of more individualized at the top, but when I did that they really flopped over, and when I think of radishes I think of the tops that kind of stick straight up, so I just kind of connected them a little bit better in the center so that they stay up better. For band usage, the green I used 93 bands, and the red I used about 170 bands. So it's not super bad, but still a little band heavy, but it's adorable, so you have to make it. Then of course there's also the eye bands and the mouth. If you use bands for the eyes, I'll show you how to do those. Otherwise beads, I'll show you how to do those too. I use 7mm pony beads, and then you'll need cheek bands too. So we'll get started, and we'll start with the cheeks and the eyes first. So if you're going to use wrapped band for the eye, you take whatever color you want your eye, put it on your hook, wrap it around once, grab both sides, wrap it around again, and then take the color of your radish, 2 bands, and pull it through. And then you have a wrapped eye band, like that. And if you're going to use a bead, you're going to want a piece of wire or floss string, anything you can put into a V shape like this that you can thread through the end of your bead. Take 2 bands that are the color of your radish, put them down in that V, close this up, take your bead, thread it through, and pull it down towards the center. So then you have a beaded eye band, like that. And then for the cheeks, they are same as the eyes. So whatever color you want your cheek on the hook, wrap it around once, grab both sides, wrap it around again, and then 2 bands, the color of your radish, pulled through. So you'll need 2 cheeks, 2 eyes for this guy, and then you'll need that black band for the mouth. Now we will start by making the leaves. I haven't pre-made any of them. They're fairly simple. We make them on the Loom. So I'll make each one with you. They go pretty quick. So first we're going to start by going up the middle of the Loom 7 doubled bands. So what I mean is you take 1 band, double it, and we're going to start right here at the bottom and then go up 7. So there's 1, 2, yucky band, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So we went up 7. And now what we're going to do is kind of a weird little pattern going up the Loom, but if you follow me we'll be alright. Starting at the second pin from the bottom in the middle, a band to the left, then we're going to go across to the right. These are all 1 band that I'm putting on. So like that. And then come back towards the center. So we just kind of made a little zigzag. Now the next one is going to be like a little diamond shape. So from this pin we left off at, come down this way, and go up, and back towards the center. It's a little box. Now we're going to repeat that on the other side. So come down to the right, up, and then up towards the center. And then again on this other side. So down to the left, up, and back towards the center. And then one more time. So down to the right, up, and then back towards the center. Now we're going to kind of make a little half starburst shape thing up here. So one band, go up and to the right, and come towards the center, and then come down to the left. Now just down, and then back towards the center. Like so. And then we're just going to fill in with little cross pieces right here from the center pin. So go out to the corner and then go straight up. And we're going to make this 3 times, so I'll go faster through the next ones, but if you just get this pattern down, the little baby triangles right here, then the little diamond that go off on each side, and then this is like a half starburst. Then we want to take one band, I'm going to triple it right on this center pin right here. So then we'll turn this around, go in through the end cap we put on, grab the top band, which is one of these kind of filler bands, then go in through the end cap again, grab the other filler band. Now the next time you go in here, we're going to be grabbing this band to the right there, just take it back towards itself, and we're going to kind of go around this little half circle. Back to the beginning. So just around back to where we started. Then go in through the cap band and the single band here. Grab that top one underneath. And we're just going to kind of loom down this weird shape that I've made. So just grab it and go down. And then when you get to the center, you're just grabbing the top bands. We loom up the double chain last. So just kind of follow the pattern. Like that. So you can kind of see it's just a weird little zigzaggy shape. So then come back to our cap band, go in there and grab that doubled band and just loom all the way up through the middle. Like that. So now I'm going to take this off, so I'm just going to take my hook, stick it in through here, pull it off. So it kind of has this little fluffy appearance. You might have to fix some of the bands when you pull it off because they tend to get snagged, but that's okay because they're kind of frilly on a radish anyways. So that's one. And I'm actually going to, this is still the red arrow side up here. I'm going to put it on this pin right here to keep it. Like so. So we're going to turn this around and we're going to make this twice more. I'm going to go a little bit faster. Through the second one and then through the third one I'll probably just fast forward, but it'll still be there for you to look at. If there's something that you keep missing, it's there for you to see it. So up the middle 7. So it's 7 up the middle, and then starting on the second pin, we go to the left, then back towards the center, and then cross over to the right, back towards the center. Now we start those weird diamond shapes. So down, up, back to the center, down, up, back to the center, down, up, back to the center. One more. Down, up, back to the center. And we're going to go around in the little starburst shape. Like that. And then the 2 filler bands. And lastly, the cat band here, 3 times. So that's the layout for the second. You can go in and grab the top band, which is a filler band. The second band, or the top band now, is another filler band. And now the top band through your cat band will lead you around the circle. Like that. And then just follow as we go down. Like that. Then come back to the cat band, grab those bottom bands, which are the doubled ones, and just go straight down the middle. Or straight up the middle. It's that optimist and pessimist thing. If you're up, you're fine. If you're down, like that. So this one is done as well. If you don't like the frayed bands that kind of pop off the side, you can always just release these early, so you're not snagging them as much. Then again, in through the end one that's open, and pull it off. So there's 2, and this one I'll put right here. And then one more, and like I said, I'll fast forward through this one probably in editing, so there won't be any talking. But 7 up the middle. Now no talking. Alright, so I have this third one done. Just release these. I don't mind the little frays, but it's actually easier to take off the loom too, so. So I'm just going to set this one down here as well until we need them, which will be shortly, but not quite yet. So just push your loom up, and we're going to use the wrong end of the loom for the radish. And we're going to work on 8 pins But I don't want you to start like right at the beginning. I want you to kind of come up a little bit. So just pick 3 pins a little bit ways up, and that's where we'll start. So what we're going to do first is drop 2 bands on the 8 pins. So I'm just going to start right here. And then be 2 bands in the center pin, and then 2 bands on the next 2 pins up. 2 bands on the next 2. 2 bands on the next 2. And then 2 on the middle one. So like that. 3 on the sides and then the centers. Then what we're going to do is make kind of like a half starburst on each end. So 2 bands. You look at it from the center going out to the 4 pins around. Right over the top of the dropped bands. Like that. Then we'll do the same thing on this end down here. Like that. Then we need a cap band. I'm going to put it on this pin up here. 2 bands. I'm going to wrap it around like 3-4 times, probably 3, because we need it to stretch to get the tops on. If you have really stretchy bands, you can do the 4, but we do need to stretch it from this pin to this pin before we puff it, so it's going to need some pull to get so we can put the leaves on. So I'm just going to do 3, and the leaves help hide if there is any gaps up there, pulls it together, so don't worry about that happening. So what we're going to do is go in through the cap band that we put on, grab the top 2 bands, and just loom them back towards themselves all the way around. Like that. Now we need to stretch this down here. Like I said, it will be tight, so if you move these bands around the pin, it'll help relieve some of the pressure. So then you're going to go in through this opening and loop out these 4 bands, or 4 groups of bands. Like that. Now if you just want to pop this so that the cap band is in the center, so that it has a little less tension spreading it out. So what we're going to do is put the tops on. You're going to need 3 green bands to attach the top. The first one, you want to go to the center pin right here, take the top band and flip it back just to hold it there. Take that band, and you're just going to wrap it around this pin like that for a cap band. Then just replace these over the top of it. Then we're going to go to our leaves down here, and you're going to want to put 2 of them on your hook. So just stick your hook down through the open end, pull them onto your hook. Take 1 more band, put it on your hook, double it, pull it through everything on your hook, put it back on, and then grab your 3rd leaf, and then again 1 band, double it, pull it through everything on your hook. That just kind of helps spread them out a little bit, so there's a little more stability. So come back to our radish down here, And we want to put the one band under only the top layer on this side right here. So, trying to keep my leaves out of the way here. Just grab the top band from these bands right here, pull it up, slide that first group over, and then replace those red bands back on the pin. Just keep your hook through the other side. And kind of slide this down. Turn your leaves around. The other side's a little easier, so let's come down here, grab the top band, and slide it through, and then replace it. So it looks like that. But now, because we want this to stay stabilized and be pointing up the majority of the time, take this cap band that we put on this pin, slide it up and over so it's trapped between the two layers, and come on the other side. And I usually just kind of go through the cap band right here, grab the cap band we flipped over, and pull it through. And you're going to want to lift up the top two bands on this pin, pull them through the cap band on your hook, and replace it. So now this is pretty well stabilized. It should kind of puff up by itself, like so. So now these are going to be annoyingly in the way, so I'm going to just rubber band them together so hopefully they aren't in your way as much. Hopefully. I'll try to move them around. So now we just want to go around and we want to puff out all of these pins. What I mean by that is that you're going to grab these two bands that we dropped, hold on to them with one hand, go in through, grab them like you're going to loop them, pull them up, put both ends on your hook, lift up and remove the bands that are on the pin, and then the bands that are on your hook you're going to replace onto the pin. And you're just going to do that all the way around. So again, hold on to them, go in there like you're going to loop both on the hook, and then replace on the pin. And just keep doing that all the way around. And like for the ones that are kind of, you got pins in your way, you can always just throw them over a pin nearby, go in, loop them over, hook them, and then replace them. That just usually helps me sometimes if I can't get my fingers in between the pins easily. So there we have all of them loomed out. You shouldn't have any drop bands or anything underneath. Push those down. We're going to do a row all the way around. It's two bands. I'm just going to start here and go around the circle or oval. Like that. And you're going to go starting anywhere, grab the bottom 4 bands, which is essentially 2 bands wrapped over, and flip them over the top of the pin. And if they kind of go like that, just push them over and push it down. You just want to have 4 bands left on the side. Like so. Now we are going to expand the top of our radish so that it's a little bit bigger. And we're going to expand this pin right here and this pin over here. And how we're going to do that, so if you go in through this hook, or through this pin with your hook, grab the top 2 bands, and you kind of see where they're coming from. Mine are coming from this pin. If yours are coming from that pin, you're just going to pull it up there. Because the ones on this pin right here, they should be coming from this pin. So if you're putting your bands on the same way I am, then you should be fine. So like that. And then come around kitty corner. If you grab the top 2 bands on this one, it's hard to see. That is not the top 2 bands. Top 2 bands. They're coming from this end pin, so they'll go up here, and the other ones will just stay right where they are. So you essentially want this band that's on this pin, it goes together with this band, or this pin right here, and this band that we moved goes with these pins. We don't want to cross, we don't want this one way down here, we just want them next to each other. So I have a little parallelogram now. We're going to do a row around, so 2 bands again. I'm going to start down here in the corner. Just go around. Like so. So this corner there'll be 4. Flip those over. Be 4 right here. There'll only be 1 right here. When I say 1, I mean it's 2 bands. There'll be 2 bands here to flip over. And on the end right here, there will be 4 bands. 4 bands again on the corner. 4 bands, 2 bands, and 2 bands again. And then right here there'll be the 4 bands. You should now have 4 bands on every pin still, even though some we only flipped over the 1 band. So, alright, so now we're going to expand again. This time it's a little bit different, because when we go in and grab the top 2 bands, they're going to be coming from this pin right here, but I want them to be right next to each other, so I can't move this one up here or it won't work. So I'm going to take these 2 bands, put my finger over them on the hook, grab the next 2, pull them up to that pin up there, slide these ones down, and put them back on the pin. So we just held this top, the bands that were on the top, on our hook, so we could move the other ones, and then we just replaced them. And on the other corner, do the same thing. You grab the top 2 bands. They're coming from this pin, so we want them to stay together. So I put them on leave them on my hook, hold my finger over them so they don't slide off. grab the next 2 bands down and bring them up to that pin up there. And then I'll replace the ones that I was holding back onto the same pin. Like that. And while we're at it, we're going to take these center pins, the bands on here, and you're going to stretch them up. It's not too bad of a stretch, so. And then we'll do that same thing on the other side. Like so. So now we've expanded to 12. Our next row is going to be an eye row. So our eyes are going to go right here. So I'm going to start with 2 bands down here at the end. And then up 2 bands more. Then our eyes are going to go right here. And then the rest of the way around will be 2 bands. Like that. So then, we expanded over here, so there's only going to be 1 band to flip right here, 1 band to flip right here, or 2 bands, then 4 bands, 4 bands, 4 bands again. On the end right here, it'll be 4 bands. Then on this side, it's 1 band, or 2 bands. I don't know why I keep calling them 1 band, but it's 2 bands. Just to confuse you, I suppose. Sorry about that. And there'll be 4 bands right between the eyes. 4 more bands. 4 bands, and 4 more. Next is our cheek row. And they'll go right below the eyes, or above the eyes. We're going to start with 2 bands down here at the end. And our cheeks. And then 2 bands all the way around the rest. Like so. And then we'll flip over, and there should be 4 bands on every pin to flip over. Like so. And this design does grow up, so at any point here now you can definitely loosen it off of the pins. Try not to pull directly on the stem too, in case your bands are not good. That would be bad to lose the top now. Although you could just slip knot it back in, so it wouldn't be horrible, but So next we need to put on the mouth. 1 black band is what I'm using. I'm going to put it on my hook, wrap it around once, and then these bands that are right in between the eyes and the cheeks, I'm going to hook them, pull them off the pin, slide my mouth band down, and then replace it back onto the pin. Like that. So now we're going to reduce. So we're going to start by reducing this corner right here and the far corner on the other side. So you just want to take the top 2 bands. You'll see where they're coming from. Mine are coming from this top pin. So they're going to come and they want to cross this time. So then my bottom ones, they're coming from this pin, so I'll bring them up here. And on this side, grab the top 2 bands. And you'll see they're coming from this pin, so we'll put them across. And these bands will come down. Like so. So now we'll do another row around. 2 bands still. So there'll be kind of a long stretch right here. And then regular. And a long stretch on the back. Oops, can't hang on to them. And then just every one. So right here, you'll have the reducing band that'll need to go over, and then the bottom 4. And on this side, there'll be a reducing band, and then the bottom 4. And we'll have 4 bands, 4 bands, 4 bands. And then on this pin, there'll be the reducing band. Flip that over first, then the bottom 4. Then we have 4 band, or the reducing band, and then the 4 bands under that. And then it's 4 bands on the rest. Alright, so now we're going to reduce again. We're going to reduce this pin here and this pin over here. So if we go in through, grab the top 2 bands. Mine are coming from the top pin, so they're going to come down. And these will go up. And on this end, this side pin that's taller, grab the top 2 bands. Mine are coming from the top pin, so they're going to come back, and then these will go forward, like so. So now we're going to do this row, and then we are going to move these pins closer, because it'll be easier. So 2 bands, we'll have long stretches on the ends, and then regular in the middle. Like so. So the end pin, you're going to have that reducing band. So I'll flip that over, and then there are 4 bands under there. This side, 4 bands, 4 bands, 4 bands again. Then we have a reducing band, and 4 more bands, which means I missed the reducing band back here. Sorry about that. So get that reducing band, then the 4 bands. So I should just have 4 bands left on the pin. Sorry. This side is 4 bands. 4 in the middle of the face. And then over here we have a reducing band and the 4 bands underneath. So now we're going to move this pin and this pin closer because it's just too stretched out now, and we're going to still need to do a little bit more reducing, so we need this closer. So I'm going to stick my hook in through here. And getting snagged kind of be the pain if you're really stretched out. So just get it up over that pin and then replace these right on it. Like so. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. Like, see how they're kind of snagged up here? So I'm just going to get my hook in there. If I pull it up, get them off that pin, you may need to pull your radish up and then replace these. Just take your time. And then push your bands down. It should look like this. The 3 on the side, the 2. So we're back on that 8 pin that we started with. Okay. Now we're going to reduce, and this time we're going to reduce a lot. We're actually going to reduce the pins we just moved and then the center front and back pins. So, luckily reducing isn't quite as worrisome to get the right bands as expanding is. But you don't want to go in, grab the top 2 bands. Mine are coming from the left over here, or the right over here. The right, so they're going to come over to the left, then grab the other side and they'll go over to the right. Then I'm just going to come and do the other end first. So grab the top 2 bands again. It's never easy on this pin, at least for me. Top 2 bands, mine are coming from the left, so they're going to go to the right, and the other ones will come to the left. So we need to reduce the back here. So top 2 bands, see where they're coming from. Mine are coming from the lower pin, so they're going to go up to the upper pin. And then the other ones will go to the lower pin. Now we'll do the same thing in the front. Top 2 bands, mine are coming from the top, so they're going to go down to the bottom. And the other ones will go up to the top. So now we're just working on 4 pins. So we're going to do a row. So it's kind of long stretches, but start from the corner all the way to the other corner. And just keep stretching around that way. Like so. So now, on these, there's going to be 2 sets of reducing bands and then the 4 bands underneath. So we reduced in the front last, so those bands should be, the reducing bands from the front should be on top. So I'm going to flip those over. Then there'll be reducing bands from the side. Flip those over. And then the bottom 4 bands will go over the top. So on this other front pin, the top reducing band. Then there'll be one from the back side. Like that. And then the bottom 4 bands. I'll unhook this. And the back side. You have the top reducing band, and then the bottom reducing bands, and the bottom 4 bands. So here's the top one, then the side one, and the bottom 4. Now I'll unloosen that too. So push these down, and we are going to reduce one last time. I'm going to reduce this pin right here and this pin back here. So get these spread out. Top 2 bands, mine are coming from the right over here, so they're going to stretch over here to the left. It's kind of a big stretch, but it works. And then these other ones will go back. The obstacle is that we probably want to get it off this pin, so it's stuck in between, so it'll stretch to the back much easier. So push those down so they don't pop up on you. Then grab the top 2 from the other corner. Mine are coming from down here, so they're going to cross over to the front. And again, I got that pin in the way. I'm going to cover these pins so I can get this kind of wedged in the middle again. And then move the last one down here. And get my hook up. So I got some big long stretches going on. But we're almost done, so that's the good news. And we want one more row, 2 bands, and they're going to stretch around the front side and one around the back side. So push these down so there's room on the pins. And it's a big stretch, but it should be doable. And then around the back side as well. This is the last row, so you can do it. So now we need to flip over a bunch of bands. You have should be 2 sets of reducing bands and then 4 bands underneath that, so we just want to have the top 4 bands left. So flip those over, next set of reducing bands, and then the bottom 4 bands. And on the other side, same thing, reducing band, reducing band, bottom 4. So all we're going to do is just flip over the bottom 2 bands over the top. Like that. And you'll take your hook, stick it through one side, stick it through the other side, then take 2 bands, pull them through, both ends on your hook, do a slip knot, and then I just took one more band to kind of make a longer root, stuck it through the end, pulled it through, and then just made another slip knot. You can, of course, change the colors. I know that radishes normally kind of change into a little bit of a white, but I'm okay with it all being red, so. Take my holder band off. And Happy Radish. I think it turned out pretty good. But I hope you enjoy making these. I think that they turned out fabulous and they are adorable. They're nice. They're almost the size of real radishes, though maybe a little on the big side. They don't taste very good when they get super big, but if you've made these and you'd like to share them with me, you can show me on my Instagram or my Facebook page. Both the links are under the video. My Instagram is at craftingfantastic. You can also hashtag them to the feelinspiffy happy food. Tons of stuff there, really cute. I love looking through them. And of course, if you want to know when I'm coming out with new tutorials, because I haven't set a date specifically yet. I'm looking into doing that, but I just don't want to. As I've said in many tutorials, I do have a family, and that always comes first for me, so I don't want to promise that I'm going to have stuff out for all of you, and then a family obligation requires that I push that back, and I don't want to have to kind of break any promises either way. So no set dates yet, but the best way to know when I'm coming out with new stuff is to subscribe to my channel, because I do send out alerts, which have woken up people, so I know they're out there. Of course, you can choose to turn them off if you want to do that as well. If you could get an email or something instead of being text messaged and woken up in the middle of the night. But that would be awesome if you would do that as well. And I definitely have more coming. And for those of you wondering, yes, this is kind of similar to a beet, but I do have a specific beet that I'm planning to put out. So if you just hold off for me, I will have that out for you. It's a little taste of the guy right here. So that's coming as well. So I'm getting there. Slowly but surely. I have so many designs that I actually have more backed up from the amount that I actually have tutorials for, just because it's easier for me to create in a few moments during the day if the kids are napping, or my husband thankfully takes them to the park or something, and then I get a few more moments of quiet to myself. I can work and do things like this, whereas I can't do tutorials until nighttime. So, because I need quiet. My family gets a little rowdy. So, but thank you for watching. I definitely appreciate it. There's more coming soon, and I hope you'd enjoyed.